this morning, Randy. How about yourself?
Great. We've got another exciting episode of Coffee Talk here for you on Tuesday morning. And I know we've both been out and about, and we're closing in on the end of marching season for a lot of folks, at least this week and possibly next week. There's some late state championships, but with Grand Nationals coming up this week, we know we're going to be spending some time on our Wednesday monthly webinar for marching arts educators with the Fishers High School Marching Band here in Indianapolis, an up and coming group led by Chad Kohler and Chris Descent, and they're going to be taking their group to Grand Nationals this weekend at Lucas Oil. And I know we both spend some time occasionally with groups, and we talk about how to prepare for big events like that. And I guess the thing today is, what are the drive-bys going into this last couple of weeks here for directors who are trying to figure out how to get better?
Well, I think the tendency, and I know I felt this way too at times, Randy, you probably did too. As you get near the end, you just, you want to think about giving your kids plenty of reps, but I think sometimes people overdo that in those last few rehearsals, and they forget that there are still things that need to really improve. And so I think at some point, even in your last few rehearsals, whether you're getting ready for state or whether you're getting ready for Grand Nationals or whatever, you need to find a couple things that are definitely going to be better. And it's going to take some time, especially at this time of the year, to get something to be really better. It may take more time than you want to put in on that particular piece of the show, but you have to do it. I mean, things have to get better. And those reps are still important for continuity and for communication and just to make sure the kids are comfortable being fluent throughout the show. But I think it is still really important to find a couple places in every rehearsal that you can walk away thinking that just sounded better, that was better in tune, that's much cleaner, that's much better in time, that's communicating better. There need to be some places in each rehearsal where you really walk away feeling like it got better.
Yeah, and we start the season, in segments, color guards off doing their thing, percussion's off doing their thing, front ensemble and winds. And it's kind of a return back to that premise that, they need the detail. The devil is in the detail. They need those things. And then the run throughs or the chunking is so that they can reinforce. But it really does come down to, getting into the nitty gritty, whether it be, blending chords or tuning chords or just working on timing within a musical segment. Just really, really important to be able to get to those details. And I know, when we've been with groups before, it's late in the season, it's split it out again, tear it down, play things slow again, trying to get them to frame, getting across that finish line and getting better is harder than just learning the show and getting comfortable with the show. Going from a 90 to a 93 is a lot tougher than going from a 60 to a 70. And I think sometimes we forget about that, don't you?
Absolutely. And, you just brought up a great point about tuning. I always encourage groups to try to find a couple chords in every rehearsal. And I say this all season long, try to find a couple of chords or a unison melody or something that you can tune that gets better tuning wise, because if you really want to improve at this time of the year, get a few more chords in tune. It'll make all the difference. And plus you're training your kids, you're getting their ears to be better, you're getting them to listen better, and it will carry on through the rest of the show. So especially if you've been pretty serious about your tuning during the season, first of all, good for you, but keep that going. And see how many, especially impact chords, don't you think, Randy? The big impact chords where you're really trying to make that final statement not only need to be big and full and get up to the box, but they also need to be in tune.
Yeah, absolutely. Starting with those big vertical moments that you've worked very, very hard on, and just getting those detailed. I think it's very, very easy, especially if you've had competitive success, to fall victim to, oh, it's cool, we're good because somebody said it was great. And then sometimes, how many times, I know when I taught, how many times did I regret not spending time on some of those moments, thinking we're in good shape, and then learning that now we weren't so much so, because other people were getting better and maybe we didn't get better in the right spots. And being very, very detail oriented is very, very important. And going back to that idea that, and I've heard you say this many times, your ears are your lesson plan. It makes a huge difference if you're actually listening and not just passively believing that. I call it believing your radio press too long. You're kind of living in that afterglow of maybe we had some competitive success this weekend. We used to tell our students on Monday, it's back to the tactic of everything's not good again.
Right.
And just be ready.
Exactly.
And I know you guys, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, and I will also encourage directors at this point of the season too, to close their eyes every once in a while and truly listen to what your group sounds like instead of talking or saying a lot. Close your eyes, listen, think about for a second, what did you just hear? And if you're not satisfied with it, you got to keep digging. So that's another tactic that I kind of use sometimes near the end of the season. I'll just close my eyes, even though sometimes I hate what I hear when I do that. I think it's important for us to really focus in on what we sound like.
Yeah, and also, sending your tech staff into different areas of the field instead of standing in the front all the time or where they normally stand.
Great point.
You're going to watch judges wander out to those goal line areas to watch peripheral performers. So, I used to call it, you start the year by cleaning from the inside out. And now it's the opposite. You got to clean from the outside in when it comes to drill and individual sounds and things like that. And sometimes going back behind the group, you can hear a lot of things that way too. And see a lot of things that way too, that judges are going to, they're going to wander out there and look.
Yep, I could not agree more. Yeah, and just continue, for all directors, just continue to get out of your comfort zone a little bit, and maybe listen to the group in a different way. And it's still not too late to bring people in, by the way, to listen to your group, especially early in this week or early in the week of your last season. I know in California, I don't think they have finals for another couple weeks yet, at least. So, bring people in that you trust to listen and to watch your groups, and that'll help as well.
Yeah, and if you can't do that, send them a video and ask them to do a list for you. So, All right. Well, great information for our directors that are still at this for the next couple of weeks. We wish you all the best of luck. Finish strong, finish positive with your students. Remember the social emotional learning piece that we did about taking care of your kids, and make sure you continue to do that, especially as the competitive fires start to burn a little brighter, just because you're getting closer to that last event. Continue to keep that in mind and ever present in your mind so that you can have kids back next year stronger and even better.
Absolutely. Could not agree more.
Well, thanks everyone. And we'll see you again next week on another version of Coffee Talk on Tuesday morning. Take care.
Thanks for joining us, folks. Best of luck this weekend.